just you get to choose. Right? Like here's the scenario. The environment gives us something which can be perceived as negative, can be perceived as not working, can be perceived as problematic. The world's ending. But we get to choose to see it like that, or we get to choose to see it as an opportunity.
So clearly that it's my responsibility now to do that for other people. If I have information and, other people's success is my success and vice versa.
Because you know what? Like, the challenges or the roadblocks are the journey themselves.
There's no big things. It's all little things compounding on top of each other.
Coach, Pro Advisor Coach podcast. Here we go. Some simple truths, simple success focuses. It's as we record this, it's holiday season-ish, and you just came back from a trip. I don't think it was a holiday trip, but anytime we move out of our regular routines, then it takes a little bit while to reassimilate back, and it's always a balance because we need to push ourselves out of our own routines such that we can continue to grow. And so, what's the balance of that? But you were just saying you felt this was your first day back after a long weekend, I guess, and you felt a little bit out of sorts today. Is that true? Tell me more about that.
Yeah. Holiday Bash is the name of this ball hockey tournament that I participated in with a bunch of other Charlotte people. So I was up and we flew into the Philadelphia airport, but the tournament actually took place in New Jersey Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I flew back Monday morning and a little bit out of sorts, a little bit out of the routine. I feel a little bit like ungrounded and like not good. Like I need to like check in and like be okay, and it doesn't feel okay right now. So I'm just like a little bit flustered. And some of that might be coming from this. I had some drinks, some beverages over the weekend, Coach. The streak is over.
Wow, I got lots of questions to ask about that. And one, I'm very curious. Let me start with this though. Coming back, has it been? How did you slip straight back into your morning routine, or was that also challenging for you today? Because today's the first full day back, right? Like yesterday you got back late or in the afternoon. So did you manage to get your morning routine this morning? Was that, and then was it challenged over the weekend as well?
Yeah. So leading up to the trip, I was really good about getting a run in during the day, either the morning or whatever that looked like. And I knew today I had a pretty full schedule. Even at night, I got some commitments later on today. And I knew I wouldn't want to. I'm still like tired and a little fatigued and got some residual, like, not jet lag, but like, just the travel stuff that comes with traveling. And so I made myself go for a mile run today. And I have been pretty consistently running 3 miles for like 2 weeks leading up to the event. And it was such a pain to like get me outside. And if you went outside this morning, it was like 27 degrees this morning. It was really chilly, especially for Charlotte standards.
It was cold.
And it took me forever to get stuff on, like get motivated. And so I made myself do that, and I'm so happy that I did, because I feel probably a little bit better than I would have if I didn't do that. And now it's also kind of laid the foundation for me getting back into that routine the rest of this week here.
Yeah, I feel I asked that because I know how it feels for me. Like it's always challenging to do the morning routine or do the workout. So you get this double whammy, because if you lead up, especially if it's an event that you're planning for, it's a trip, you tend to get better and better and better up to that point. And so you get this like peak performance, and then you get this event which is the opposite of that. So when you come back, I find you get this double whammy that you're used to doing something and you didn't do the recovery, and then you're going to hit yourself twice. So it's even harder to get back to it. And I completely agree. It's that once you hit that first workout, that's the reset, such that you can get back to where you are. That my morning workout this morning was a challenge also. And it's funny, I even find if I'd have had a couple of days off, just the stretching in the morning hard. And then just a few days of doing that, it's much easier again. But yeah, so tell me about the drinking. Was this a conscious decision up front before the event, or
No.
intra?
More of a spur of the moment thing, but also I felt it coming. It was more of a, you know, the commitment had changed. Um, I'm so far removed from the reasons that I did it in the first place, which was like health
Right.
reasons and feeling good. Um, that not that I wasn't getting the benefits. If anything, maybe the value was stacked on top of it, but um, it had lost the luster a little bit for me, and it was just more of keeping the streak going just to keep it going than the actual benefits I was receiving from it. So I found myself in an environment where this is the most people from Charlotte that I've traveled with to one of these tournaments. Either it's been usually another buddy or two. We had 9 guys that traveled to this thing and played together. So it was like a bonding experience, and not something I did on day one, but after we were in the gauntlet together and competed and had fun out there, everybody ordered drinks, and I said, I think I'll have me one of those.
Fascinating. Did so we talked about the original reason, and then the streak itself being self fulfilling. That it was something that kept it going. The fact that you had it kept going. Are you saying that it got to be that it went so far it became a weight, like it went back the other way around?
um, Maybe I think the desire just became stronger to have a drink or to have that bonding experience than the importance of keeping the streak going.
Okay.
So it wasn't like it was no like a pain or anything to keep it going, but it was more um, like it was really important to me. Like if you have a scale, right, the importance of not drinking was like
Yeah.
it was weighing it down big time. And now like the intrigue of like surprising people and having a drink, like kind of and like being a part of the bonding experience, like that's maybe my favorite part of drinking is the camaraderie that comes with having a beer with somebody, like having an experience versus like messing up my state or like altering my state so that I feel something differently. I think that maybe
Yeah.
had been my perception drinking before, is like I want to, I got some stuff going on. I just want to forget about it. That wasn't it at all this time for me. It was more the bonding experience of drinking with my buddies.
It's so funny you say it because like that, um, the concept of drinking to change a state, to forget something, or like that. I wasn't even aware of that before I came to this country that even exists.
That
Because
was my whole
drinking it,
college career, baby.
because drinking was always about. Drinking is laughing. Drinking is connection. Drinking is
Mm.
being with your friends. There was never any other reason to do it. And so it was very interesting to learn that when I came here. But did you get some good reactions?
Yeah. The funny part was, we have a social media manager for our hockey league, so we were sending them pictures of the group together. And to be funny, there's some other drinkers in the group, obviously. They put up a poll with the number of beers that each person was going to, consume that weekend. And I wasn't even on the poll, so I had to report back in that I actually made the leaderboard, which is kind of
That's
funny
great.
in and of itself. But yeah, we had some fun with it. And for those maybe who haven't been tracking this, coach, I just want to maybe put this out there. So it was October of 2021, so the streak officially ends at like 26 months, I think, right around there. So over 2 years.
That's fantastic. Right. There's a book in there somewhere, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Of review for that. Okay, well then what happens now? Like, is it? Don't know.
Well, I'm glad you
Nothing to
asked that,
say.
because I'm wondering, as we sit here and have this conversation about how out of sorts I feel, how much alcohol has to do with that, and how much I am okay with that. And I don't think I know the answer to that yet. Um, but I like the idea of starting another streak. uh, just having the discipline to do it, because as out of sorts as I feel today, even if it has a little bit to do with alcohol, um, unless I totally eliminate it again, it's bound to happen, right? And I think we talk about compounding results with like cutting it out. There might be compounding negative results with like going back to that well, no pun intended, once a week, twice, like whatever that looks like. So I think about that, what kind of how much is this setting me back? Like what good idea could I have had today or been able to access if I hadn't done that? Who knows what the answer is, right? But that's kind of where my mind goes.
Yeah, and I completely agree. Yeah, that happens for sure. I'm excited for Q1, dry Q1 for sure. And
That's
I
for you.
think,
You're doing a dry Q1.
yeah, I mean, I normally do at least 6 weeks. I think I did 10 this year, and but yeah,
Hmm.
there's definitely. But also, there's something to be said for like the immersion intensity of it as well, right? To get the lift, um, and certainly not.
The immersion intention of not doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I don't doubt that. I don't know how much you drank or how many days you drank in a row or like what it was, but like I can tell you that if that was me and it was like 2 days of drinking, like for like a whole couple of evenings, then like there's no doubt that that would be a huge impact on coming
Mm.
back.
Yeah.
No doubt, like no doubt.
Yeah. I think of that in terms of how far removed from the state that I want to be in did it put me in. So in the moment, right, you get a nice buzz, and I enjoyed it. It was fun. We had a very enjoyable time, um, and it was during the day, so kind of a unique experience. We had all day Sunday to do that, so I was able to ride the wave for a few hours versus like doing it at night and you got to go to bed and sleep on it. So that was interesting. Um, so yeah, I think it's about the next day was when it kicked in with like, is this the state that am I okay with this? Like I'm not in the ideal state I could have been had I not been drinking. And now here we are, this is being recorded on a Tuesday. So we're almost 48 hours removed and I still don't feel myself. So I'm still kind of monitoring like what's acceptable to me. And if, whether or not I'll go back to the well
Hmm.
anytime soon, at least.
Yeah. What is the immediate impact or costs, secondary and tertiary as well? And yeah, it's like keeps on going for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very very interesting to think about overall, right? And it's same thing for all the things we're working on, right? Continuous input into it. Some things you can see come in, most of the time you can't, and but you get to a certain place regardless because everything has a destination, right? So do we have a little bow on this for now? Like put it to the side, like nothing else to say.
Stay tuned. This is my second day in a row and got a new streak going of no alcohol, 2 days in a row. No, I'm interested. I'm almost as interested as you might be in like seeing where this goes, because now the guard is down, right? I'm more likely to
Yeah,
accept. Like, am I going to use the same language? I don't drink. Like, I don't even know. Maybe I need to think through that so that I'm prepared, or not. Maybe I just let it rip with whatever feels right in the moment.
yeah, and I wonder if like I don't know whether this time of year traditionally for you has more undertones of drinking or not. I know you'll be back up north soon, and I don't know whether there's environments there which support one or the other or neutral. But my brother's coming to town. My parents are going to be here, and this season for me, traditionally from an English perspective, is definitely like alcohol heavy, and I think for a lot of people more than it is in food heavy. And so I'm looking forward to that connection because like we just talked about it. There's for sure a lot of conflicting beliefs for me in those two together, but I'm definitely looking forward to the new year reset.
Mm, yeah, yeah, like the last hurrah these last couple of weeks. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be released after the new year. So just for anybody wondering, this is being recorded in December. So we still have that adjustment to make.
Well, yeah, I mean, we could for those listening and watching and be like, okay, well, how did you do with that? I think the intention is always what's key with what you've got coming up to go. Okay, what is it? What result do I want to get to? What is my intention? What's my outcome? Rather than just going, well, that is what it was, what it was, or it's because of this, or it's because of that, or someone else.
Yeah.
Have do you think that it's a default expression to want to blame something else? or to put a blame somewhere. I've got an example, but what are your thoughts? Like if someone says, "I well, it was this situation," or "that person did this," when you know that, especially as a coach, that that person had a choice and they made a choice to
Hmm.
do that thing.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like you don't have a choice because you don't have a plan. Um,
That's
yeah,
good.
like well, one of my favorite Mike Tyson quotes, right? Like everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Well, like even if you don't have a plan, you get mauled. Like you don't even have a chance if you don't have a plan. So that's what, yeah, that's the power of your statement there of like having the intention to do it. If you don't have the intention, with what you want to stand your ground with, I'm not drinking today. Like even if the opportunity comes up, it's just something, it's a decision I've made. Then you're probably going to succumb to peer pressure or just that being in the moment of like the camaraderie, like oh, other people are doing it, and like it's going to be a fun time. There's no denying that, right? Unless you have the intention of like I'm just not going to do it, and and I will still have a fun time. I'm just not going to be drinking.
Yeah. So what's your default? What did your default behavior tend to be in that scenario? Then that's what will happen, right? Path of least
Right.
resistance. Well, I know, like with my oldest in the car, like if she's drinking water and like I'm just driving and we go over a bump or something, and she'll be like, "Oh, Dad, like you made me spill water all over myself." Like, no, you're in charge of your cup and you're in charge of it, and that's up to you. And it's there's a couple of times where she does that, and it makes me think like the default is that there's a blame to be placed, and it should be someone else.
Mm.
I don't know how much of that has been trained to her, or because I guess she's now old enough at 7 that there's most certainly some things that it's not just the default programming. You know,
Yeah, maybe the distinction I can make with that is like if you're going into an environment where there's going to be alcohol, like holidays is a great example, right? You can have a plan. Whereas the bump, she didn't expect that. It was unexpected.
right,
She didn't know it was coming. So maybe you
right.
could start the car ride with that. Like, hey, there's going to be some some bumps here. Just watch what you drink.
Yeah, and so yeah, you're in charge of it. Like you got to be aware that we're in a car and cars move, right? Like you,
Right.
that's yeah, you got to be aware if like you're hanging out. I mean, it's like the indicator of change in the environment, right? It's like if you're hanging out in bars all day long and you don't want to drink, like that's a good starting point for intention. But if you haven't got any intention, I can tell you what's going to happen. And if you really have got the intention, you won't go in there in the first place because then you've created a game which is actually winnable rather than one where you're relying on willpower
Yep.
or or the illusion of that it's someone else's. Not my fault.
Mm.
Oh, like they bought shots. Like what was I going to do? It was someone's leaving do. Like just you know, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe not Tuesday. That would be definitely a bit of a stretch.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a song, Coach. At the club going up on a Tuesday. That is a song. So,
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Oh, that'll be stuck in my head now. Take us home here, Coach.
Aside from copyright infringements, sorry, Rob, we can't play that song, but that would be cool. Um, I
Hmm.
think for me, it is that having the plan, and if you don't have a plan, then you don't have a shot. You'll just be swept away with what the moment is, and hey, there's value in that. Um, Going with it, going along with the flow, and I think there's also value in being really decisive in what you're willing to accept and what boundaries you're going to set for yourself. And yeah, that's the takeaway I think is just be decisive on where you want to have a plan, and maybe you're okay in areas of your life with not having a plan.
And it just underscore the piece of going with the flow because that can be the thing where people go, "Oh no, I'm just going to go with the flow," and that in itself is making a choice about what you're going to do. So if you really
Mm.
are okay with going with the flow, then that's totally fine. But what most people mean when they say going with the flow is that I want to go with the flow, and if I decide I don't like it, then I won't. Then I won't decide that that's not what I want. right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it didn't turn out to be a good night. I thought you said we're going to go with the flow. Yeah, but this happened. Like that doesn't work. It has to be whatever happens. If you decide to go with the flow and you're intentional about that, that means whatever happens, you're okay with it
Mm-hmm.
because that's the outcome you decided you wanted at the start. But that's
Bingo.
a place where people hide. Mm-hmm.
Mm. Love it. Thank you, Coach.
Coach, take care.
Thank you for watching another episode of Truth Seekers. We appreciate your interaction, so please comment, like, subscribe to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want more, check out some of our links to our masterclass, The Achiever's Mindset, and come join our LinkedIn group. And what do you want to see more of? Remember, we're here to share the simple secrets of successful. So help us do that. What do you want to see? What do you want to see more of? Thanks, and see you again next time.